Welcome to the Beyond the Vines podcast, where I interview local business owners in Sonoma County to highlight small business and grow our community. I'm your host, Amy Ahlers, a mom, realtor, and Sonoma County native, and I'm excited to connect you to some amazing people in this beautiful area that we call home. Hi, welcome to the Beyond the Vines podcast. I'm here today with Andrea Ivey. She is not only a friend of mine, an amazing client, but also the owner of Adventure Recreation located in Petaluma. She is absolutely incredible. She has coached my kids, and I am so honored to have her here with us today. So welcome, Andrea.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited, and this is beyond fun. Beyond fun.
I think so too, so I'm glad you think so.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. I would love to hear a little bit more about how you got started in this career. It's gymnastics based. I know you have a lot of things that we'll get into, but specifically the gymnastics side. Were you a gymnast?
Yeah, we're going to go way, way back. So
Yay.
I was a gymnast ever since I was like a baby, just crawling around, and my mom got me into classes and then grew to love it and love it and love it. And that's all I did was just gymnastics all throughout. Of course, playing little hobbies and little sports here and there. But by the time I was 9, people were asking, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I want to own a gymnastics gym, and I want to be able to walk into the lobby and then go one door and have the parents go and work out, and then the other door and have all the kids be able to go to gymnastics.
Oh my gosh.
And have a two-way or one-way mirror in the middle so that parents could watch their kids.
You knew that then?
Yes, at 9 I wanted.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, a lot of things happened between then and now, but part of my dream is there, and I would definitely say I don't know that I'll ever go the adult route, but that was a dream at 9, and now I'm just doing exactly what I love to do, which is coaching kids.
That is amazing. Where did you grow up doing gymnastics?
Up in the Redding area.
Okay.
So Sacramento, and then 2.5 hours straight north up I-5.
Amazing.
So a couple different gyms up there that I trained out of.
That is so cool. And you opened Adventure Rec here, but you had a previous location as well?
Yeah, so we actually opened Adventure Rec back in, McKenna is 11, turning 12. She was 3 months old when we took over an existing gymnastics gym. And it was the competitive, 12,000 square foot, boys, girls, all of it. So she was 3 months old when we took over, and we haven't looked back since. So maybe, almost 11 years?
That's amazing.
Or a little over 11 years we've been going. Our 5-year lease was up in that Redding area, and we were kind of looking around at other buildings and trying to figure out, okay, do we stay here? Do we try somewhere else? So we looked at Bend, Oregon. We looked at Tahoe, which are all beautiful places that we all love, right?
Right.
And then we, as a family, went down here to Petaluma and went, okay, there's maybe a gap in what is offered here. There's definitely other very competitive gyms, and we actually took a step back and decided to say goodbye to the competitive aspect and just really tailor our whole business to the recreational tumbling and Ninja Warrior and that sort of thing. And it has been amazing. So
I love hearing the story of that and how you went from a more competitive gym to more of the recreational side, which is also in your name.
Although we might be doing Excel. So
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
We've been talking about it for years. We have so many athletes that have been with us for a really long time and have gotten to be pretty upper level gymnasts. And, we've gone to different meets together as groups and, different team building activities. And with Chelsea and I, my manager, Chelsea, we have that background in our competitive gymnastics.
For sure.
And we went, hey, let's do an Excel team. It's not as competitive, but it kind of gets our feet wet.
Yep.
Not as many trained hours in the gym, which is so fantastic because I think kids should be kids.
Yes.
And that's what we kind of decided was that competitive aspect of having athletes in the gym for 20, 30 hours a week.
Yep.
It's just, it takes away so much of their time. Yep. So we really like the Excel aspect because kids can still be kids and they can compete. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'll say too, my girls aren't gymnasts, but they are dancers, and you have helped them you and your staff are incredible, and you have taught them so many skills that they've been able to carry into their dance and has really helped them at a competitive level in dance.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
We kind of fell into that.
Yeah.
When we were up in the Redding area for our first 5 years, there was a dance studio right next to us.
Oh.
And so we went, okay, well, we can teach aerials. We can teach back handsprings. We can teach all of these things. So we were doing private lessons, classes for that dance studio. And so then when we moved here, we had a couple different friends of friends that went, hey, we know some people that could use some aerials. aerials, and then we kind of got into that same path of kind of working with local dance studios here.
Right.
So.
Well, because dance has taken that turn too, and I have Celeste from Studio C coming next week to talk more.
Yeah.
But so dance has kind of taken that turn where to be able to compete, you have to have the tricks and the tumbling in your pieces. So you've been a huge benefit to all of our kids to be able to offer that to us. So we appreciate that.
It's been so fun. And cheer, for that matter.
And cheer. Yeah. I didn't even think about cheer. Yeah. That's a very good point. Mm-hmm. And do they ever use your space or no?
We sublease to the local Panthers.
Yes. Okay.
Throughout the year.
Great.
Just depends on what's kind of going on. And then a lot of them take classes with us.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Yes. I think I did know that.
Yeah.
That's great. So can you tell me, you've got a few branches to your business. You've got the recreational tumbling that we discussed, possibly bumping up to like a more accelerated program as well for those that are ready for that. But you also have Ninja Warriors. You've got birthday parties. Can you kind of lay out all the different things that you have going on over there?
And we're adding more. So
amazing.
Oh, yes. Okay, so we've got, Ninja Warrior and tumbling. But really, I like to throw a third one to that pillar, which is toddler classes.
Oh, gosh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and so that's like, yes, it's both kind of toddler or it's tumble and Ninja Warrior. But really, that's kind of where it starts. And so, people are parents, as soon as they have kids that are starting to get old enough, they're like, what do we do with our kids? And usually it's one of three things. Usually it's dance or soccer or gymnastics.
Yep.
And so we definitely have a pretty thriving toddler kind of whole realm where they start with us, and then sometimes they move on to other sports, and that's totally great.
That's how I met you, by the way. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I don't know why it didn't even occur in my head that we had a toddler.
And explore time and a ton with Petaluma Mothers Club.
Yes.
They all come in and be able to socialize and let their kids run free and have fun. So open gyms, birthday parties, camps, so day camps, winter break camps, fall break camps, trying to expand even into year-round school break camps.
Great.
Because I know that's a really big need in our community. And then after school programs, I started to touch upon, but that's going to be really hard to delve into.
Right.
And so I had actually pulled my kids, as you know, because our kids went to the same school.
Yes.
2 years ago-ish, and started homeschooling.
Right.
And then we just opened up a micro school.
Very cool.
And I am like the lead coach teacher.
Very cool. Wow, the teacher as well.
Yes.
You
just
how do you do
throwing
this
it all on. Yes. So I did kind of backscale on coaching classes.
Right.
And I'm just coaching a few of them.
Okay.
So 1 or 2 toddlers, 1 or 2 of my olders, and a couple in between, just so I get my fix, because I love all the age groups.
Definitely.
But I'm a full-blown teacher now for my 2 kids.
That's
so
amazing.
A 3rd and 6th grader.
Wow.
And then we have about 9 other kids that are coming to our micro
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I don't know how you do all of this juggling and then being a mom and the business side of things, the teaching tumbling side of things, the teaching school side of things. Like you're amazing.
I definitely zone out quite a few nights. Where
you have to.
McKenna's like, Mom, I have a question. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm
checked
just
out.
It was a long day. We were together all day.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. And
Totally.
I gave you my all.
Yes.
I gave you my all. But now it's like, okay, mommy time. I just need a minute just to breathe.
Which is so
it's been
important.
Great. It's been great.
I do like the opposite. Not in the not in the evening. I do like the morning. My kids know like nobody talks to me till 7 a.m. I need to have my coffee. Yeah. Get my mind going. I listen to my podcasts and not my podcast, but other people's podcasts.
Well,
maybe both.
You should do both.
And that is like the do not interrupt me. You shouldn't even be awake time. And they know that.
Yeah. I like to get up and go in the mornings.
Yeah.
That is like my time. I just love as early as needed. And
amazing.
I hit the ground running, and then I just like lose steam
throughout the day. That is awesome. I think that my next question, there's a lot of things you could choose from, but is there anything unique about you that sets you apart from other, let's say, gymnastics studios or that kind of facility?
Yeah, I mean, I just always kind of look internally at us rather than like comparing to others, out there. But just looking at ourselves, we just had a staff meeting on Wednesday, and we have everything from like high school students, college students, and my age and older, and everything in between. And we just really like internalize and focus on that community vibe within our gym. And I think that definitely sets us apart, or just that's a special part about it, right? So we have a handful of parents over the years that have been with us for so long, and they look to us and say, this is like my child's other home.
Aww.
Like they would not easily go somewhere else and just be dropped off and no big deal and hit the ground running and never look back to parents.
That's
but that's always like a really nice achievement when a parent says, this is their other home. They love it here. They love you. And so that community vibe or that community feel is something that we talk a lot about at our staff meetings, and really try to instill that, especially with our high school and college students, so that they can not only do that, with us and creating that good vibe and feel, but take that to other jobs too.
Right.
Because our business isn't just the special one. Like we're going to be a stepping stone, and then you're going to go work somewhere else.
Yep.
And we hope that you take some of these like vibes with you to make it feel good, feel comfortable, approachable, great communication, eye contact, opening doors for people, just all the small stuff.
Yeah. I love that you're teaching that skill. And also that, parents have the confidence in you to be such a huge role model in their kids' lives and in your other coaches. Like that's such an honor, I think, for a parent to be like, here's where they are every day after school, and I trust you with them, and, I trust the life lessons you're bringing to them. So I think that's great. Yeah,
we just happen to be teaching gymnastics or tumbling or warrior, but really we're teaching, self-discipline and confidence and, all the other characteristics of being like a whole human or a whole, a whole person. So,
which applies towards literally the rest of their life.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's so great.
Yeah.
Is there anything you do to contribute to our local community here in Sonoma County and Petaluma?
Yeah, everything from whatever kind of sports my kids have been in over the years. So it always kind of ends up being whether it's the little leagues to Boys and Girls Club is a ton, and trying to do sponsorships of like teams or things like that. But besides just kind of giving, which there's always auctions or spring auctions, like we're giving away gift certificates.
I've hit you up for school auctions.
Yeah, and hit us up because we will say yes. If you are a school and you need an auction item for something, whether it's like, we have teen tumble night, we have toddler stuff and everything in between, we will pass out anything you need.
It's amazing.
Financial donations are a little bit less, but we try to do what we can. On top of that, I love to go to both of the local high schools, and I've done a couple different speeches with them, which has been really fun.
That's so great for the students there.
Yeah. So I kind of get to pitch myself, but really, when I get down to it, it's all about first-time jobs. And so we talk about different characteristics that local businesses might be looking for in a student to have their first-time job. So so we talk about everything from what does it mean to be on time? Is being on time, right at, if you have to be there at 1 o'clock, is 1 o'clock okay, or should you be here at 12:50?
Right.
And so we talk about all those little things, and eye contact and handshakes, and also researching businesses. So if you're going to apply for adventure recreation, I really hope that you've gone to my website, you've looked around, you've kind of learned who the owner is, so who I am and what we do, and kind of talk about or relate what you can bring to the business based on your knowledge of the business.
That's such an amazing program, that for you to take your time to do that, but also that the schools are open to that and that they recognize, obviously math, history, science, all of that is so important, but so is teaching these high school kids what the next step of life is.
Totally.
And those are huge life skills that, for us, it kind of goes without saying. Of course, you do these things, but for them, they're still learning all of that, and
totally.
so
and someone has to show and
them.
Talk about it, right?
Yeah.
And then we've gone one step further, and with our summer camp, we have 40, 50, even some weeks 60 kids coming for our summer camp, and every day. And so we've developed a leader in training program, and that's been super awesome. I think we had 41 people, junior high students signed up this last summer.
Wow.
And so we do a big kind of kickoff and training. And then we did several, probably 6 online video trainings that me and my staff did for them to just start learning what it is going to be like to have a job, and then practice all throughout the summer. So
I think
it was
that
cool.
is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking of my oldest kids and how we can get them in that. That is so cool.
Yeah, a few people
Okay, great. All right, I love it. I have a feeling mine will be interested as well.
Yeah, definitely. definitely.
That's great. What are some of the challenges you faced as a small business here?
Well, can I say COVID?
Yeah.
100,000,000%.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine.
So we made it through.
Yeah.
So that was great. But so many steps, so many like pivotal changes happened through COVID. Not only like being bumped from one building to another.
Right.
And that was not due to COVID. But about a month before COVID hit, we needed to move buildings within the Petaluma outlets to a smaller space because that's all that was available. Another corporate building was going into our old space. And so they gutted the place. And then turns out they had no contract signed. So they,
oh my gosh.
When COVID hit, they left a mess. And now no one can go back into that building.
Wow.
Which is so unfortunate. So anyways,
that is.
I'm trying
that was a great space.
Trying to poke around and see what I can do with that space. But we'll see. It's going to be pricey.
Yeah.
But then we found another location and had it for about 3 months and started gutting it. COVID was going on, but we didn't really understand or know. We're like, oh yeah, guys, one more week of spring break.
Right.
And then we'll go back to school.
Right.
And that led to another week and another week and summer.
Yep.
And so that other bigger location just did not feel feasible at the time. So we did, first last month rent and we just went ahead and walked away from it, unfortunately.
Especially during that time, that's so painful.
Yes, it was really painful.
Yeah.
And that was like the first 3 months of COVID, right? So then fully shut down. We started doing Zoom classes like you heard so many other people do. And then as soon as we were able to, we opened up inside for like 2 weeks. And then I think we got shut back down. And then we were outside. I
remember that.
Yeah. It was like, I think just like me, Chelsea, and we had Sonia at the time on one day. And but we pushed mats outside for 10 months straight. I don't even know how we did it.
I don't either.
And then being outside, everyone had their own station, and then we moved them one by one, and then we all were wearing masks and still cleaning every single mat.
I remember you had like that, oh gosh, what was it? Like a
like a Swiffer.
We
but you had
some kind of thing that you would like do around all the equipment.
We
fogged. That's the word.
And we've always fogged.
Oh, okay.
For the last, I don't know. When it first started coming out, we started fogging like 7 years ago.
Yes,
I don't know.
Incessantly. I remember like during COVID though.
But during COVID, we washed mats in between every single person that touched them and then switched them. And that was even outside. It was so crazy.
And that's got to put a wear on your equipment too, to be sanitizing that much, to be moving it outside. Yeah. It's got to wear it down a lot quicker.
And us. It was like, I think we have some fun videos out there, like on Facebook somewhere. Where
I feel like we need to make reels.
The mat stack is like way higher than us, and we're like pushing it and getting it out there.
That is amazing. But to be able to look back and know that you did it and that you made it through it and your business came out alive. And I think also your kids saw you doing that.
Yeah.
All of our kids saw you doing that and finding ways with that like classic COVID word to pivot in that situation. Like you figured it out. And that's
we don't shy away from anything.
Totally.
Right? And it's
something to be proud of.
Whether we need to like, screw something in, change a door, paint, like, as a business owner, we have to do it all.
Yep.
And yes, maybe you hire it out or, find someone that can help you. But as a business owner, I've worn all the different hats under the sun. So
amazing.
And that includes a lot of cleaning during COVID.
Yeah.
and still.
Yeah, for sure. That's amazing. My next question actually probably, I think surviving COVID was a milestone, but are there any other milestones that you can think of that you're really proud to share?
Just starting when we took over the gymnastics gym, I think one of the biggest, coolest things was it was kind of stuck in the dinosaur age. And dinosaur age in that it wasn't very computerized. There weren't like QuickBooks. Like it was like they handed over books to us when we went to purchase the gym, and it was all handwritten. Like, okay, wow, that's what we're starting with. But I think the coolest part about that was, transforming to a little bit more in today's age and going from like, I think when we purchased the gym, we were at like 125 students.
Wow.
And then we got up to like, 449 within like a year.
Oh my gosh.
Of just taking over. And so I don't know, I'm sure there's like so many dynamics as to the reasons why. But I thought that was really cool just to go like, reorganizing maybe, our community vibe that we really pushed. And this was up in the Reading area when we first took over.
Right.
But we're all contributing factors that I went, okay, like maybe I kind of know what I'm doing.
Yes.
I still have so much to learn. And looking back 10 years, ago from that beginning, I still had so much to learn. But,
but you did. And also the fact too that you grew that quickly that's everything. But you have that magnetic personality. People want to come to your space. People want to send their kids to you.
Thank you.
So of course, like it's speaking for myself and others.
Yeah,
So, are there any future business plans that you have like in the works that you want to share with us?
I'm always on the hunt for something bigger or different. Right now we're in 3 basically locations in the Petaluma outlets. And when I look at it in one perspective, it's so great and really cool to have it in different pieces and like chunks, because the Ninja Gym has its own vibe and like the Tumble Gym has its own vibe and our micro school. But I could definitely see it being under one house, you know, again. So we'll see. I'm always on the hunt for like what's out there, what buildings come available, and how can we shift around.
Right. We can help you with that here too if you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do think that would be nice for you to house everything under one facility for your own sanity to not be running around all over the place.
Totally. We've made it work, but it definitely has its downfalls.
Yeah. Definitely. Is there anything memorable or funny that's popping in your head? For me, it's that visualization of you bringing all those mats out every day. But do you have any funny stories? I'm sure there's a million, but one that you could share.
Okay, so Sonia, who's been with us, she's my first employee that I hired, and she's still with us. She started on like our Google Drive a document on there that were just silly, funny things that the public.
I love that.
Okay, but one that really stands out overall, and we all have like a group text that we message us out between. But whether it's like, you know, Chelsea answering the phone and they're like, hey, so do you have like cricket this afternoon? And she's like, cricket? We're a gymnastics gym, but we get all the random calls like, hey, do you have Adidas shoes? Hey, do you have horseback riding lessons? And of course, like we're adventure recreation. So being recreation, maybe we're looked at as like the department for like Petaluma or things like that. But it's definitely been the running joke of what's the silliest phone call that comes across.
That came this week. I would have never thought that ever. So that's really funny to hear. Yeah.
I guess there's one more, like we in our previous gym, it was like we love to joke around. So when or when kids are like, hey, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 186. And they're like, what? So we're constantly making jokes in the gym. But another one is we have sharks underneath our floor.
Duh.
And we have like trap doors that we have to feed them and all the things. So
that's adorable.
We always try to keep it like light and fun. We always try to keep the kids like on their toes.
Yeah.
We always say it loud enough so that the parents can kind of be in on
totally
like,
the joke
and the funniness.
Yeah.
And you know, those gullible kids where they're like, really? What? And I'm like, I know, I look good for 186, right?
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
That's adorable. I kind of feel like maybe that age thing got back to me at my house too, where it was like, is she really 186? Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. What are 3 fun facts about you personally, Andrea? Like outside of the business, what are 3 things about you?
Okay. I happen to be Native Alaskan.
Wow. I think I did know that.
I'm a quarter Eskimo, which is, I say Eskimo, but really I guess Native Alaskan is the correct term.
Okay.
But Inuit is the particular, you know, there's a lot of different tribes. So that's one cool thing.
Is that on your mom's side?
My mom's side.
Okay.
So my mom is half, and then my grandma's full. I have pictures on my Facebook. So if anyone's like, hey.
Oh, that is so cool.
You know, like the generational pictures, which is really fun. So I've eaten all the really weird random things.
Like what?
Like moose heart and caribou is delicious. It's like a darker, sweeter meat.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, salmon was always on like, you know, whatever my grandma was cooking. And
how funny.
All the things.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome.
Okay, other things. I am super competitive. Like outrageously competitive. So if we're gonna play cornhole or like volleyball, I am like out there digging in with everybody else, and I'm like getting sweaty and taking off the sweatshirt, and I mean business.
We got to get you back here later too for pickleball.
Oh, right,
like, you need to get
I've
back
never
here.
played pickleball.
I haven't either, but I bet you'd be good at it.
It's on my list. What else? I don't know. I love to jump in for like a fun joke, or I have a bum knee right now, but I still love to tumble still. Yeah. So I would totally get on our trampoline, maybe not on like the hard mats, but I'll get out there and play with, you know, our coaches and kids and stuff. So yeah.
I was going to say, at the end of the night when you're like shutting everything down, do you just like goof off and do all your tricks by yourself when nobody's there?
So it's like we're in the Petaluma outlets, and everyone's like, "Oh, do you spend all your money here shopping?" And I'm like, "Oh, you would think, but I don't."
Yeah, right.
You know, you're like ready to get home, ready to eat, whatever's like the next thing. I would say beforehand, or as soon as like one of the coaches come early and they're like playing around for a minute, I'm like, okay,
I'll join you.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, or handstand contests, or all the things.
We do that in our house, all of us. We all do a handstand contest. It happens on the regular.
Okay, so you and I need to do a handstand contest to promote this podcast.
We should. Not in this dress, though. Okay. And I will change another time, and we will do it. Okay. I'm not going to say that I could beat you by any stretch, but in my family, I'm pretty good.
Okay. That's an accomplishment. Really
that's true, because my girls are they're pretty good tumblers. Yeah. So that's funny. And speaking, going back to the shopping and being in the outlets, I will say, like, as a mom whose kid would leave class if I sat there, remember when she was little, she would just walk right over and try to get a snack with me. Yeah. I had to go shop every time. Yeah. So. Yeah.
But you didn't buy stuff every time.
Not you. No, I didn't buy stuff every time, but I will say, like, you know. Yeah. So at the end of each episode, I like to ask people, is there anyone that's really helped you in your career that you'd like to give a shout out to?
I don't know that I have like a specific person. I feel like so many melting pots across all of my life. Growing up a gymnast, I definitely say that gave me like the hard work, determination through multiple, coaches that I've had over the years. I am an only child. I grew up with 3 parents though. Wow. So my grandpa lived with us. So I had mom, dad, and grandpa.
I love that.
And I would say my grandpa was definitely like super involved with like education and thinking outside the box, critical thinking. Just he was always the one that like would make me think about things in a different perspective. Great. I have a tattoo. So my grandpa like hummingbirds was like definitely the thing. So I have a hummingbird that's leading Adventure Rec.
I love that.
And that's definitely something that pretty much stands out to me. But I would say, everybody I meet, like I learned something from. And then consultants over the years from like, other gymnastics gym owners or, things like that too. So
that's great. I feel like after hearing about your grandpa, I could see so much of him in you. And I couldn't even, that's how I would describe you.
And he is the jokester.
Yeah.
So
how funny.
Yes.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Before we go and wrap up, how can people find you? So you're located in the Petaluma outlets.
Yes. 3 locations.
3 locations in the Petaluma outlets.
So we always say basically what we're across. So this is going to be like a tribute to other businesses.
There you go. A shout out.
I
can name one of them
Nike.
next to Kate Spade.
Yes, Kate Spade. So across from Nike, next to Kate Spade.
Yep.
And then the other one, I always say the taco truck. So right when you drive in the outlets, there's a taco truck right there. We're right across from the taco truck. And that's our Ninja Gym. So.
Got it. And I don't think I've seen the Ninja Gym, so I need to come pop by.
Yes.
Yeah. And
it's definitely
I should pop by the taco truck too while I'm there.
Well, yes. Yeah. All of the above. But yeah, you can find us. Google search Adventure Recreation in Petaluma here. We have a website, which we're revamping right now, which I'm super excited about.
Great.
But everything from Facebook and Instagram and all the things.
Wonderful. And we'll put in the discussion below the podcast, we'll put links to all of that so people can find you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming today and for joining me and for sharing about your business. And thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah, it was fun.
If you like what you hear, please be sure to like and subscribe, learn more about Sonoma County and all that we have to offer here.